So, this is me. I don't remember this being taken, but I guess I must have been about 6 or 7 at the time, growing up in the materialism of the 1980s, with its bold, confident shapes and saturated colours. A decade of globalization where big business had assumed its cultural critics to become a parody of itself. But all these images are from the USA and Japan. Decaying in the city London was a very different story. I'd create alternative realities for myself, whether it was pretending I was a Goonie or an obsession with far off lands like South America and its myths, fostered by this legendary cartoon, or the works of Lewis Carroll and C.S. Lewis. Not just escapism, but entire magical worlds and environments. The symbolic resonance of a lonely lamppost in a wood still lives strong in my mind, and is a visual image I reference often. But let's rewind. One of my earliest memories is playing with my toy cars. I used to have loads, which I used to line up in a line, stretching all through the house, and then move each one forward one space at a time. I loved it. I even remember being at school, looking forward to getting home so I could move my cars forward. I was anal. I used to arrange presents under the Christmas tree so they all fitted together. But all this was eclipsed by my love of maps. I used to spend hours studying them, the beauty, 3D as 2D, the systematic detail, and flags, beautiful, beautiful flags. I didn't have siblings, no brother, no sister, just me, so all these memories are individualistic. Overall, childhood was a happy time for me, the innocence, the openness for ideas. Childhood inspires my work a lot, especially in trying to get people to rediscover that innocence, that openness, and see the world through their inner child's eyes once again. This is where I grew up, just down the road from the neo-Gothic wonder of this place. When I was about 16 and Martin, this is Martin, came to visit, he pointed out how much sky there was, and it was true. Compared to the usual claustrophobic inner-city London, post-war planned Pimlico was sky central. It had caused me to develop a sky love affair without noticing. I remember often just lying on the ground, staring up, just letting the blue sink in through my eyes. This was reinforced by our annual trips to see the family in Portugal, when I would just stare out the window at the endless blue for the entire trip. I love it still and capture it often. But it's the transition from day to night that really gets me. That twilight, where the usual world, briefly, is a completely different magical place. When I was older, us kids would spend entire days hanging out around the estate. The chiaroscuro atmosphere caused by the synthetic estate lights burnt into my memory, and I refer to them often. This was especially true in winter, when the dark set in early to create that atmosphere, that otherworldly environment, that intimacy of winter building up to the bright lights, saturated colours, and talking teddy bears of Christmas. I love Christmas displays, and make my friends stand in front of them for embarrassing photos the whole time. The highly British traditionalism that all this Christmas stuff symbolised was fascinating to me. Growing up in a Portuguese household, Englishness was as foreign to me as existential Catholic realism was as familiar. And work like this made me fall in love with the former and show me how humour can help me deal with the latter. Aspects I recreate in my own work all the time. And Englishness was deeply connected to this seminal moment in 1990, when this happened, and I became truly aware for the first time what a huge and powerful emotional impact the moving image could have. Perhaps all this is why I love cinema so. The creation of other worlds, itself taking place in another world already. The emotive potential, the large, bold scale for the transmission of ideas, the adventure, the escapism. It's all there.